Hey folks, Hudson here, and this is Rez HD for the Xbox 360. Rez is a classic Sega Dreamcast game that sadly came out at the end of the console's lifespan. I played the hell out of this one back in the day, and Rez also came out for the PS2, and in 2008 we had this HD port to the Xbox Live Arcade. Rez is a musical rail shooter, and it plays similarly to the first two Panzer Dragoon games. And that is not a surprise since the development studio had some of Team Andromeda's 4 employees on it. Rez is a pretty simple game. You fly in a predetermined path and shoot stuff. Pressing the A button over an enemy shoots it, or you can also hold down A to lock onto multiple targets. Enemies fire various projectiles at you, which you also need to shoot down. Rez has two different kinds of power-ups. Red cubes give you Overdrive, which activates when pressing the B button. Overdrive shoots everything on the screen for a few seconds. It's great for bosses, and also when you're in a bad situation. Blue cubes level you up. The amount you have is on the bottom left of the screen. One cube gives you anywhere between 1 to 3 bars. Once all the bars are full, you level up. Your form changes as do your shots and the sound they make. Levels are pretty much lives. Your character is very fragile, and you level down immediately when you get hit once. So collecting blue cubes and leveling up several times is an absolute must. The premise of the game is that you're a hacker who's trying to hack into a computer. All the enemies you encounter are essentially the computer's security systems. Each level is split into 10 little layers that all transition seamlessly when you decrypt a security protocol, which in the game's case is another cube that needs to be shot 8 times in order to activate. As you go from layer to layer, the music intensifies and the amount of enemies increase. Once you get to the last layer, you have an epic fucking boss fight. Rez is the type of game that needs to be played to understand just how awesome the experience is. I mean, the soundtrack by itself is just absolutely phenomenal. Rez is an experiment in synesthesia, a neurological phenomenon where the stimulation of one sense leads to an automatic response from another sense. It's pretty much a blending of your senses. People who have it can taste and feel colors, or believe that a number is a certain color among other things. And that's kind of what Rez is. It's a stimulation and a blending of all your senses in one little gaming experience. Everything in the game blends so well together, it's absolutely awesome. When you attack enemies, you attack them in rhythm with the music, not in real time. Each attack accentuates the music as they add hi-hats, snares, and other little things like samples. Your character and background elements pulse to the beat of the song, and your controller vibrates to the beat as well. Panzer Dragoon is one of my favorite games of all time, and that game simply oozes of polish and style. Each song is done exactly as long as the level is, and when the song ends, that's when the boss fight begins. When there's a calm area on the map, the music is calm. When you enter an area that's full of enemies, the music picks up. The tracks were individually constructed for the levels themselves, and each track is unique to represent and reflect the style of the area you would be in at a certain point in time. That's the kind of idea they picked up for Rez, and decided to push it even further. Have a game where pretty much everything is tied to the music and have it overflow your senses. And yes, they did an absolutely amazing fucking job. Rez is a fantastic game, and it looks like this HD port is the definitive version. The Dreamcast and PS2 copies of the game are on the more expensive side. This one only costs $10, and it has widescreen, higher resolution textures, anti-aliasing, 60 FPS, and 5.1 surround sound. The original version of Rez is included as well, if you would like a little nostalgia trip. My only complaints about Rez, in general, are the length and that at times there's so much going on the screen that it kind of becomes like a seizure-inducing clusterfuck. You can barely see anything, sometimes leaves you getting hit. Doesn't happen too often, certainly not as bad as Tempest 2000 got. As far as the length goes, sadly it's only about an hour long. Rez has 5 levels, and it's pretty much a game that's designed to be played in one sitting. When you move on to the next level, you carry over all your previous upgrades. So if you leveled up a few times and have a couple of overdrive bars left over, all that gets carried along. If on the other hand you decide to quit, well, you pretty much lose all those upgrades. While the levels are still unlocked, you're going to be going into them bare naked, and they're going to be a lot harder than they normally would be. Beating levels and beating the game unlocks a few extra modes, but they're nothing special. It's like score attack and boss rush stuff. You're pretty much replaying the same game with a slightly new objective. It's not very interesting. $10 may seem like a lot for a game that's only an hour long, especially since most of us have been spoiled by endless Steam sales, selling amazing games for like $2.50 to $5, but it's worth it. It's a shame that consoles don't get the same sales that PC does, but Rez is full of polish, style, and is such a unique experience. There's a demo available, so you can check it out if you're interested. I've personally beat this game several times on the Dreamcast, and I think about twice on Xbox 360. It's certainly the kind of game that's so unique enough that even if you beat it, you will come back to it eventually just to play it again. Because it's just that much different, that much interesting, and just that much fun. I'm Private Hudson, and if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. See you guys next time.